Let's rock and roll. All right. I don't know what episode number this is, but that's okay. This is another episode of Just Jossin Around. Been on a little bit of a hiatus. Have had a little bit of psychosis, putting the cis in psychosis. But I'm really excited to be back making another episode. Our guest today, super funny, a celebrity who just hit a whole mill on TikTok, Cameron Logsdon.
Yes.
Congrats.
I am the guest.
Yeah. This is fun. I feel like we had this scheduled probably 3 separate times, and I kept just thinking I was Jesus Christ. So we couldn't.
Joslyn kept pushing it off. She's like, "How many followers do you have?"
I waited,
and the number just wasn't high enough for her. It just wasn't high.
You hit a mill.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Okay,
it's time.
Now I'm doing him a favor still, but I'll have him on.
I wish that was the case. That honestly would be a better reason to push it off than what actually happened, which was that I was in weed-induced psychosis.
Oh no.
I went to Colorado to visit a friendly comedian, and they pressured me into marijuana.
Oh, you got peer pressured?
Okay, I'm kind of blaming them, but I didn't push back hard enough.
Okay.
And I didn't take a lot, but I took a good bit, and then, I started thinking that I was Jesus, and I don't know. I am not, in case you were...
I don't want to tip the scales here.
Yeah.
But how do you know?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
That's literally what I'm saying.
Again, I'm not trying to cancel the pod or have the episodes not get recorded or anything, but I do want to know, like, how'd you figure it out?
Okay.
What brought you back?
Honestly, I just was like, it's my low self-esteem, all right? Because I was like, there's no way. You're not good enough.
Jesus couldn't have had high self-esteem. His father was God. Are you kidding me?
And honestly, a part of me was like, you know what? How progressive of God to just, second coming of Jesus Christ. Let's make her a woman. Let's make it a woman.
Yeah.
How in this economy, that would sound very well.
It would have been progressive.
That's what I'm saying. But
I think that's how you could have known it was wrong. There's no way God would have been progressive.
No, yeah. I know.
Quintessentially not progressive. Yeah.
I was looking forward to it. But I spent like 4 weeks feeling like that. And then I also, I feel bad because I deleted so for this podcast, we had an Instagram account, deleted all of it because I thought that the government was after me.
Because you're Jesus.
I was Jesus.
And I was like,
what
is happening?
No, Grace texted
Poor
me.
Grace.
Grace was like, so you deleted the Instagram account? And I'm like, listen, Biden is on the prowl.
Wow.
I was out of my mind.
Out of anyone, he's only after you.
Well, she is Jesus. Like, I don't know.
All signs were pointing to it.
Right, of course.
Okay, this is like, I did like lose my mind for weeks. But one of the weeks it was really bad. I like locked myself in a room with a Bible and I was like, I should probably get to know
your history, your origin story. I think it's important. People need to know where they came from.
Dude, I was tripping pretty hard. So I don't know how this ties in. My last name means of the good. And my dad's name is Theodore.
Okay.
Theo. God. So like my brain was like making these connections. I was it makes sense.
Do you think it's a coincidence that your producer is named Grace?
I'm not gonna lie, that was one of my delusions too. I was like,
everybody out there, faith, harmony. Okay, who else works here?
Patience. Just all the fruits of the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I thought that I did not sleep for days because I thought if I closed my eyes, I was going to die. And Jesus can't.
You have too many responsibilities.
I started making to-do lists.
The whole world is riding on
Dude,
this.
you want to know the
And you
weight
want a
of the-
nap? You want to take a nap? Are you kidding me?
It's funny now, but legit, this was how my brain was working. Like, I made a list.
It's kind of funny.
It's so
I'm
fucking funny now.
a little terrified.
No, you should, because it's like how, and also like, how does the human brain work? How does the human brain, like, I was fully convinced. It's not like, oh, I kind of have a feeling. It's, this is my reality.
Not a human brain. Okay. We humans, we cannot do what Joss can do.
I made a list, like in like the midst of my, and also I was hallucinating. Like,
Can I ask a question? And this isn't judgmental, but it's
No.
a serious question.
I want to hear it.
This was from weed?
Okay, so I've had psychosis before,
Okay.
and every time it's been weed induced.
Okay.
So we are deducing that I just should not be on weed. So
Yeah.
the first time I had psychosis, I went up to a homeless man on the side of the road and I tried to speak demons out of him. Like I
Is it always religious based?
yeah, it's always, well, okay, yeah, it's pretty much always religious based.
Some could say that there's like something in your past or there's something about this that like, you know, you can work out on your own. But at the same time, like if this has happened several times, it could also just be that you're Jesus.
That's
like
what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying. And so, but what I found out is that it's actually like not common because I've never met anyone who's had this, but it happens to other people. People get, it's called a Messiah complex where
Wow.
they just, and it's like, but it's like, I don't know.
Who is there anybody notable that has also had it?
No,
like-
not that I know of. I mean, it would be cool if someone like really notable was like,
Like
and
Bono
yeah, sure.
or the guy that tried to kill Lenin.
Yeah, he's like, I was just doing my duty.
Yeah.
Orders from God.
Orders from on high.
Big guy upstairs. But I wrote on a to-do list of things. And I want to make it into a bit because the first thing.
I don't know.
No,
I think
no.
you need, if this sets you off, set it down. You know what I mean? Like, don't
but
take
at
it
the
to the
top-
stage. Work that out.
At the top of my list, though, I wanted all fences gone.
Wow.
I was like, if we want any peace in this nation, we can't have fences.
Our
I was
God
on, is an
is an
awesome
awesome God. That is
from heaven above.
That's generous.
That's what I'm saying.
What a generous Jesus.
Yeah, I have like
What did the old Jesus do? Fish? Little wine?
okay, sorry, this is another thing from one of my other psychoses. My first psychosis, I went to a lake and I watched people fish for a couple hours. But
Okay.
whenever
that sounds like being high. But
right?
okay, but what's the turn?
There is no turn except for like I was just like watching people fish and I would celebrate if they caught something and
Like just like full pom poms.
Yeah.
Like you just
Yes.
like you did it.
I went over and shook a man's hand. I was like,
my-
that's a hell of a fish you got.
Sir. I don't normally do this because I'm Jesus, but nicely done. You could
that
feed
first?
at least 1,000 people with that fish.
I was like, I'm about to make you guys fishers of men. That's what he said to the disciples.
Wow.
Yeah.
You read that book.
Well, so I think what happened, I like grew up in like private school. So I think like, I don't know if it's like indoctrinated in me. So
No, I'm sure it isn't. What makes you think that?
it's just such a weird side effect. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
call it a side effect. It's like heavy. Like imagine the Catholic school commercial. Side effects may
effects.
include a Messiah complex. You know what I mean?
that's so good. That's so good. I don't like, if I were to lose my mind, like of all things to think that I was,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked Jesus Christ. That's kind of boring. There's a lot of rules.
Yeah. Or it's like the most exciting thing.
Honestly, when
You know how many people choose like cat? You know?
Yeah.
And they're just like
you can't, there's nothing
purring, laying in the sun.
that actually,
It sounds peaceful, but it's not exciting.
It sounds way more peaceful than saving the world.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God.
Well, you got to do buy like one furry costume and the job is done.
It's over.
But for you, you've got to save the world.
Yeah, I was busy. I went in.
This could be a Marvel movie, though.
I honestly, though, okay. The way I'm thinking
You think Marvel would cast a woman as Jesus in Marvel
How
Cinematic
progressive.
Universe presents Jesus?
How progressive are we getting?
It would be.
In this
Pretty
economy,
awesome.
it would be very woke. It'd be very woke of them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would watch that movie.
I have another question.
Please ask.
And I want to know your opinion as an expert. Do you think that if Jesus came back for real, not that you're not, but do you think that if he did, he would like be able to get anyone's attention? Do you think he'd have to like start a podcast in Omaha, Nebraska?
Just Jesus around or whatever.
Just Jeezing around.
Just Jeezing
Oh, Jesus. You know, like, do you think he'd have to like,
just stand
do you think
up?
he'd be on TikTok doing crowd work bits, performing little miracles, and people are in the comments like, edited, fake, AI.
I don't think Jesus. I'm so sorry, Jesus. I don't think he'd be a good comedian.
No, he couldn't be. He's too serious.
He's too serious. He's
Too
got to
serious.
lighten up. Maybe that, and I think that's where I come in. I go, Jesus, you sit down.
So you'd be a help. You'd be a helpful.
Yeah, I'd be the front man for it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is behind, but I'll get up.
You know why I don't think Jesus would be able to get the following? Like why I don't think he'd be able to do it all over again?
Yeah.
Because he'd come back and he'd be a slam poet. And nobody wants to listen to a slam poet.
He's got to get into like sketch or
He's got to do something.
yeah, and
He could be Mr. Beast. Like he could just do like giveaways. Like if he just came, you know, he's like, I'm going to give away 100 Lamborghinis to the first people to pledge their faith, you know? Like that would be.
if he just started helping people out, I think he could really get the ball rolling again. But
Can you imagine the thumbnails on Jesus's YouTube channel?
Grace, are you looking to produce Jesus's next podcast?
Because this is pretty much it. I feel like we've spent a lot of time on Jesus, but
I mean, if he's
It's
anything
nothing I'm not used to.
like you, absolutely.
Stop.
Wow.
Are you flirting right now?
I am.
That's so sweet.
it's pretty good.
Grace, I think this is a good time to ask. How was your dentist appointment?
It went well. I left with a hefty potential bill of all
Oh,
the
no.
shit that I need done. Like I thought I had decent teeth.
They're white. I can see them.
Yeah, and somewhat straight, but no, I grind my teeth too much.
Dude.
Ooh.
And so I have some stuff to think about.
Do you you don't have cavities though? It's a clean
No.
report.
Right. It is.
Do you have wisdom teeth?
No, I got those taken out.
Can I flex?
Yeah.
I don't have them.
You were never born?
Yeah, like they did the x-rays on me. I just don't have them.
That is weird. Is it because you're Jesus?
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
another sign.
I don't know if that's a sign.
I feel like as Jesus, I would have to have more wisdom teeth than
Yeah. Wouldn't you think he'd have like 8?
a couple.
Like all of them.
Like a whole lot of wisdom teeth. All the teeth, actually.
Yeah.
They would all be wisdom. Every tooth would be a wisdom tooth.
I don't have any. Did you get yours? Did you have?
I had mine removed. Yep. Had them pulled out.
Can't
That was a
So-
great experience, though. Getting your teeth pulled out.
I've wanted to do the drugs.
That's
I
the
wa-
best part. That's what I'm
that-
talking about. Yeah.
That's why I'm sad I don't have them because I want to do the drugs, but also I'm kind of relieved because I feel like I would have like confessed things under. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
When I got mine out, I woke up and they had taken my cell phone away. I was like, "What'd you guys do with my cell phone?" They're like, "You kept taking it out and trying to Snapchat the experience. Like as soon as you kind of like came to, the first thing you did was reach in your phone, or reach in your pocket, take out your phone, and try to Snapchat everybody your wisdom tooth." And we were like, "You
Content creator.
can't do this. We're not done. Like we gotta stitch you up, man." And they took my cell phone away and they gave it to the person that was with me.
You were creating content.
I was a content creator.
Is
That's
that-
what it was all along.
Was this pre-TikTok?
This was pre-TikTok.
Wow. See,
it was pre-TikTok.
It's in you.
It was in me.
Genetically, it's in you to just create content.
I
do want to bring up your TikTok because you're known, like, I feel like you're known, like, for you do really good impressions. I want to put that to the test. Do your best.
Oh, no.
Impression.
Yeah.
Of me.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it,
Okay, this is my best impression of Joslyn, and it's based solely on the interaction we had when you first arrived here. Hello? That's like, and then the most generous, kind laughter. But I mean, oh,
hello?
Like yeah, there it is.
Hello?
That's
it's. I gotta stop saying that. I've been saying okay.
Hello.
I
don't know.
It's from,
maybe it doesn't go up quite as high at the end.
Hello.
If it's dip
from a vine, isn't it?
It's from a vine.
Okay,
that's what I was gonna say.
But you do it.
But I do it. But I like doing it like I don't know. Like I do it like to greet, but also if something aggressive happens, like I was working the other day and someone like knocked over a table, it was really loud, and I said hello, and I thought it was funny. But the more that I do it, the more it's not funny, and I gotta find a new bit. I gotta find a new thing.
It's funny. You take that cadence into other things, though. Like, you take it everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Decent impression. Decent impression. I wanted to know, how am I perceived?
The truth is that I think the thing about you, I can't do it because I'm not as generous, but I think you're a great laugher. Like, you have the best laugh. In this comedy scene especially, nobody laughs better than you. Yes. Like you laugh in a way that's not annoying. It's not mocking. It's like so generous. It's a very kind.
It comes from the heart.
Yeah, it comes from the heart. And you like comedians are always like buttoned up and they're so tight and they're like, "No, you're not going to get me. I don't get." And you're so cool about it. It makes you great to be around. You should have a podcast.
Flex.
Yeah.
But I really don't understand. Like, okay, there's some people like. I don't do it on purpose. I like to genuinely laugh. Yeah. But there are some people that I know. I'm like, are you trying to not like just laugh?
There are people who genuinely try not to laugh. They're like
psychotic.
You're gonna earn it, and then when they get it, they like to go, "That was good."
Or
you know, it's like,
or they just like
shut up.
Just nod their head. I'm like, let it out.
Yeah, let it out.
Scream.
I got into comedy to be critical. Actually, that's why most people got into comedy, because they're pretty critical.
I got into comedy because I went to a Cameron Logsdon show.
No, it wasn't a Cameron Logsdon show. It was a show. It was like New Year's Day. I don't know whoever put that show on, why they thought it would be a good idea.
It was.
It was like January 1st or January 2nd. It had to have been the 2nd.
It was the 1st.
It was the 1st?
It was the 1st.
Oof.
It was on a Saturday.
No wonder. It was January 1st, and it's me, maybe 3 or 4 other people.
Zach Peterson, Ethan Abramson, Annalisa Wright.
Annalisa Wright. Okay,
I remember
you got
exactly.
it down. All right, great.
Because it was a very historical moment in my life.
So it's us. It's maybe one of the moments I want to forget more than anything in the world.
Crazy.
I do feel lucky that I met you, and now it has become a story that I feel like we revisit a lot. But so we go to the show, and there's 0 people there. 0 people at this show. And then we're like, okay, I guess we're just not going to do it. And then Natalie or Dylan or whoever was running sound comes back and like, hey, there's an audience member.
Yeah.
Do you guys still want to do the show? And I'm like, no. What? What do you? And we're all like, but I look around. I thought that was the answer. I look at the other comics and they're like, actually, like, kinda. And that's comedians. If anyone will listen to them talk, they will talk. It doesn't have to be a crowd and it just has to be one singular person.
Soul.
It could have been nothing. It could have been no one. If no one had showed up, I bet they still would have run their bits
for each other
out loud.
Workshop.
Yeah. And so we looked at each other. I was like, one person. Like, yeah. They're like, and it's a girl, which not to gender audience members, but very, I don't think I've ever seen.
It's weird.
How about this? Even if it's a large crowd, very rarely do I feel like women go to a comedy show alone.
You don't see
Not stand up.
No.
Maybe improv because it feels like a group and it feels like a fun thing. But like No. Guys will go to comedy shows alone because, again, they have that complex. They're like, oh, I'm going to judge and see what's funny.
Yes.
Women are way nicer than that and wholly uninterested in listening to what is typically a lineup of all dudes talking about,
correct,
their junk or whatever.
Yes.
And so they were like, it's a girl. And I was like, oh,
sounds
okay.
like a gender reveal party. It's a girl.
It's a girl. It's one audience member and it's a girl. And so I was like, okay, one of two things is happening here. Either she's with one of us or she wants to do comedy.
Slay.
Like those are the options. So then we all go out and we do a little dance for one person.
Yeah.
Joslyn is the most generous laugher in the world. Really, truly made it feel like there was a crowd there. And so I'm on stage and I asked, and I was like, are you a comic? And you're like, no. I was like, do you want to try comedy? And you're like, yeah. And then we all bust up laughing. It was like, I knew it. I called it.
And then you had like 12 minutes left and you were like, do you want to come try it? And I was like, I'd rather vomit. Like, just imagine, like, I had nothing like prepared, but also like doing it in front of people who like clearly knew what was going on. I was like, I couldn't think of a more terrifying way to start. But also it makes me laugh because I remember Zach coming out and being like, you're the only one. Like, do you still want this to happen? Like, it felt like, like asking for like a secret menu item. Like, we don't really do this, but do you want it? Like,
did you pay?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God.
Did you guys split the 10?
I'm sure.
No, well, you got to get 5 to backline.
5 to backline, and then you split the door. So we each got $1. It was not necessarily an offer for you to do with that 12 minutes left. It wasn't an offer like, oh, it would be nice to like offer her 12 minutes. It was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe she will. Like maybe that's where this
sacrificial
time
lamb
can go. Oh,
the Jesus Christ
callback.
But it didn't. I didn't go up and do my tightest 12. But that was a very fun. I had a good time. I thought everyone was funny. I was like, all right.
Again, too generous.
I don't know. I came back. I think Ethan was like, we'll see you Wednesday. And I came back.
Yeah.
And then I did like the open mic. I did pretty well. I thought it was not bad. And Ethan was like, calm down. Don't get an ego. But keep coming back.
Ethan said that?
Ethan, that was literally like right when I got up. He was like, watch your ego.
Okay.
But keep coming back.
Okay. Ethan, I've never seen Ethan walk into a room and not go,
yeah.
That's
a good Ethan.
He just does the little face.
A good Ethan impression. I do. Okay. So I don't know if you have any of these off the top. I wanted to ask. So since you're on TikTok, what's the hate comment scene like? Do you get any of those on there? And if so, what's the genre? Like, what's the hate about?
Yeah, so I think because most of my videos are impressions, the hate I get is people being like, doesn't sound like them, not flawless, can't believe you guys think this is good, sucks, bad.
It's the same guy, just
not good. To me, they're all the same person, but it's probably a lot of people. and that's generally what it is. They're just like, or somebody will go, I can't believe all of you think this is good. You know what I mean?
That's what I want.
And that's
I
a
want
lot
them
of it.
to post their impression.
That's
I want
what
to compare.
People have taken to commenting that themselves. Like, you do it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I'm just saying, not good. I mean,
would
this
feel
one was
good if
okay.
someone went to bat for me in the comment section.
That's when I knew that it, like the stuff was kind of taking off.
Yeah.
I learned early on not to like read too many. Not good, not bad. Just you spend too much time. You know what I mean? And so I try not to read a lot of stuff. And but I noticed, but when I really was like, oh, I must have like a lot of people that follow me now, because people started responding. And then like I was just kind of in the back of the comment section going, yay,
Slack.
keep going. Thank you so much. I want to DM them personally. Hey, thank you so much for sticking up for me.
Send them a $5 gift card.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I made $1 on this show last night.
Right
now. You can have it. Like...
I made a good $1, untaxed, in cash. No, if I get hate comments, the people batting for me, it's like my aunt.
Yeah.
My aunt goes. Does your family like go on there?
So it's technically my ex's mom, but another way to word that is my son's grandma. And my son's grandma on not on TikTok or Instagram, but on Facebook. My son's grandma goes to bat for me on Facebook harder than anybody in the world. So it'd be like, he only posts the same 8 impressions, which is a comment I get a lot because I do like a lot of the same people, but just in different whatever. I do them the best and they do the best. So I do them over and over. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But people will say, he only does the same 8, which like, okay, well, there's 8 of them.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
You're like, show me one.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. This is what it is, okay? But I'll also post a video where I do like 50 in a row or something.
Yeah.
And she'll go, and then she comments every time, he does a lot of other impressions. You got to watch his other videos. He does all sorts of stuff. And he performs live, and he does this other thing. And I'm like, Grandma Mia, this is what's up.
Goes to bat.
Yeah.
I love to see it. That's awesome.
Your aunt takes up for you all the time?
Yeah, like someone, okay.
Is she on Instagram?
I asked. Not on Instagram. It's on TikTok, which is actually impressive.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I feel like she's a younger aunt, but like most recently, I posted a TikTok. I like to just complain. I could write these things into a diary, but I just would prefer to make a TikTok about it.
Great.
I just was on there and I was like, I feel like if I was more attractive, I'd be less mentally ill. That was my argument.
Okay.
And I think that's a valid argument. I think that if I like
okay.
I don't.
This is not an endorsement. This is me listening.
No.
Yes, I'm listening.
I'm just saying, like, does Margot Robbie think that she has a Jesus complex? I don't think that that's.
Well, they just made her literal Barbie.
Dude, that's got to be fucking.
They made her a whole
Barbie.
Does feel like she probably does. Even in the movie, they kind of make a commentary on it.
They do make
it's
a
like
commentary.
a half-hearted commentary, but it's a commentary. And I'm sure Margot Robbie feels pressure. You don't think Margot Robbie feels pressured? They're like, you look like Barbie. And she's like, oh, snap. I have to maintain.
I mean,
you know what I mean? I have to like be Barbie when I go out.
I have
That's a lot of
complaints
pressure
about Barbie. Number one.
Okay.
There was only one fat Barbie. There was no mid-sized Barbie.
Right.
And the fat Barbie, they stuck in a 3-piece swimsuit with shorts and a jacket. That's fat shaming. Put her in a bikini. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. And also, there were no
a lot of
gay Barbies.
Diversity in the Ken shapes. There wasn't a lot of diversity in Ken shapes. Not asking for it necessarily, but there wasn't really.
No, you're right.
There was a diversity in the shade of Ken,
but not in the body. You know what?
Body.
This reminds me of when I worked at Old Navy and they rolled out plus size women's line. We had women's plus size mannequins. Nothing for the men. I think I'm so sorry. I'm feeling bad for the men. Yeah, there wasn't any diversity.
I thought Barbie, because when we went and saw Barbie, and there was everybody was at the theater. You know what I mean? It was like there was old couples, like people in their late 60s maybe, just like a couple that went to see it, and there were trendy people, there were people in outfits, there were people doing a thing, and there were little kids. You know what I mean? There were little kids. And what I think Barbie did well was like make it digestible. Like it made all the concepts digestible and relatively agreeable. Like it's saying some really good things, a lot of woke things, and they're really agreeable.
Yep.
But your point is, I've heard a lot of women have talked to me about the movie and made similar points where it's like this was a very digestible form of a lot of things that women have been talking about for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that. At the same time, it's like, yeah, but the kids and the old people could all get on board. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never pleased. I'm all
fair.
Like, I feel like it's like my nature to just like immediately. But it was I thought it was very funny too.
It was fun.
The funniest part was the ending when it was like this emotional build, and then like they like put one joke in there, and then it just cuts to the end, and it's like Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice. Like, it just the tone shift was funny. Also, shout out to Ice Spice. She went from like being on the internet to like being in the Barbie.
Have you heard the rumor though?
What's the rumor?
That she's an industry plant. You haven't heard about this? That Ice Spice is an industry plant?
Oh.
There's a really good chance, and I totally buy that, like, big media looked at somebody who like Lil Nas X and was like, you know what? If we replicate this
yes,
with intention, we can control it. And there's like a lot of TikToks. There's like a lot of deep dives, way more than I could possibly be able to like try to capture. But the conspiracy is that Ice Spice is an industry plant.
All right.
And I don't 100% doubt it.
No, I honestly, it's fine.
A conspiracy theory that I'm like, I kind of buy it.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at it.
I don't know that there's harm in that.
I'm like, it's
I don't know
fine.
that there's harm in her being an industry plant.
Although, okay, so this is like where my brain goes. So because I thought her start was like with Drake. Like I thought Drake like.
Did you hear about that though?
Not.
Did you hear about that?
You're so well informed. No, please tell me about that.
Ice Spice was supposed to go over to Drake's house, right?
For real.
So she goes over to Drake's house. Everybody speculated that when she went over to Drake's house, he was going to sign her, right? Uh-huh. And she went over there. He didn't sign her and, in fact, unfollowed her. Okay? Unfollowed Ice Spice. And the speculation, this is where a lot of the conspiracy about the industry plant thing comes out. The speculation is that Drake found out that she was already signed and was an industry plant. And Drake was like, oh, I get it.
That would make, she's not real. See, I thought it was like he wanted to get with Ice Spice and then she was like, no. And then he was like, all right, well, screw you.
No. Because is she over 25? Because Drake kind of has that Leonardo DiCaprio thing going on. Yes. Drake needs to calm down.
Oh, God, I love Drake. I actually don't care. I'm not doing like feminism any favors with how I feel about Drake.
That's fair. That's your call. Feminism means you can choose.
It's the
right? Isn't that what it is? Like, shouldn't you be able to decide how you feel about Drake? I'm not. That's not for me to say. It's
embarrassing. Like when people ask me, like, what do you listen? It's really humiliating to have to admit that it's Drake. But from the gut. That's where it comes from.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fine.
I did have this on my list of things I wanted to discuss. Are you up to date? You're pretty knowledgeable about what's going on. Do you know, how do you feel about Lizzo right now?
About Lizzo? Ooh, see, I told myself I was not going to comment on Lizzo. Oh. But I will. Here's what I will say. I am very, very, very... I think it's because I'm around so many comedians. Mm-hmm. I'm very turned off by how people are jumped on the Lizzo thing. Like the jumped on the Lizzo comment, like the jumped on the Lizzo jokes, jumped on the commentary. It's like, oh, you all were just waiting. And it's the reaction has been so visceral and they're sinking their teeth in so hard that I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like, what Lizzo, the allegations against Lizzo and all of that stuff, that sucks, right? Mm-hmm. I can't know about any of that. That's not for me to know. I do have a little insight, but I'll come back to it. What I will say is that from a comedic standpoint, people jumping on Lizzo and like attacking Lizzo and being like this, it's like, no. This isn't about Lizzo. This is all of you feeling like, oh, now it's fair game to criticize the thing that I hated from the beginning. Because even if Lizzo did all these things wrong, the criticism and the commentary that Lizzo brought to the zeitgeist was perfectly valid. Like, it was a valid criticism of everything. We shouldn't have been body shaming people. Yep. And the industry is too hard on women, and they're especially on big women, and especially on black women. Like, all of those things are true. Mm-hmm. And people didn't like that, but they felt like they couldn't say anything. So then when Lizzo fell, they were like, oh, now we get to say whatever we want, and we're going to go really hard on Lizzo. But it doesn't feel like it's about Lizzo. It feels like it's about everything Lizzo stood for, and that's the part that sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that.
And on top of that, and it came out that the people who were making the allegations, they weren't even like true. Like, they were like questioning further, and they were like, well, her vibes were just off. So like there's no real weight to it. It was that
girl. It was one of her dancers used to be a dancer for Beyonce. She was a backup dancer for Beyonce for a really long time, right? Mm-hmm. And then she was no longer a backup dancer for Beyonce. And here's what I know above all else. Beyonce keeps her ship on lock. Right? Like, Beyonce
military
keeps it tight, right? And to me, it is a big red flag if after years of working with you, Beyonce says, I'm out and you're gone. Like, this situation is done. And I can't remember that person's name, but she was a dancer for Beyonce for a long time, and Beyonce and her cut ties, and then she went to Lizzo, and then she's been loosely associated, or maybe strongly associated, I'm not exactly sure, with all the Lizzo backlash and stuff. And I'm like, see, Beyonce knew. She
knew from the jump. We should have, yeah.
Beyonce knew, and I think if we really want to get to the bottom of this, we ask Beyonce.
Wow.
At the same time,
I haven't heard this. I like this.
At the same time, it may still be too fresh and it may be too hot because at a recent concert, Beyonce, where she normally says Lizzo's name in a song where she like lists off a bunch of other artists, she didn't say Lizzo's name. She took out Lizzo's name and she put in Erykah Badu. She said Badu, Badu, Badu instead of Lizzo, which the Erykah Badu thing, that's a separate commentary. But what I will say is, there's a lot going on here. If there's anybody to put faith in right now, it's Beyonce. Beyonce can get to the bottom of this.
Okay. Okay. But is Beyonce satanic? That's what I... Sorry.
Okay.
Listen,
is Beyonce satanic?
After going through my psychosis experience, I had a lot of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
One thing that I was convinced that Drake was the devil as well. Sorry to bring it back to Drake, but I was convinced
Drake is way too corny to be the devil.
But like
the devil is smooth.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Drake is a corn dog. There's no way Drake's cool enough to be the devil.
But Beyonce
is cool
could pull
enough
it off.
to be the devil.
Could pull it off.
Beyonce's cool. See, I would have to accept that there is a devil.
For starters.
So that's a lot to work through, I guess.
I know.
Do I think Beyonce is the devil? No.
Or Illuminati.
What is Illuminati?
No, that's a good question. I don't know, and I don't care. And to be honest,
Yeah,
I think
that's
if the
fair.
Illuminati approached me, I would probably join.
Oh, I'm down. I'm going to
That's what I'm
Mars.
saying.
I'm going wherever they're going.
If they came to me and they were like, because it just seems like marketing. It doesn't seem like they're like, just throw up a couple of these and,
We know for a fact that Scientologists are the closest thing to Illuminati that there can be, and they built Tom Cruise. It works. I think if I don't know that I wouldn't say no to Scientology. I think if Scientologists were like, Cam, you just hit 1 million. How would you like 100 million? How would you like to be the biggest name in whatever? Like, all you have to do is just be a Scientologist. I'd be like, what does that mean? Like, okay, sure, why not? Like, if I get millions and millions of dollars and I could do whatever I want with that money and give it where I want it, you know what I mean? Like, Scientology, what, I got to jump on a couch or something? Like, okay.
Wear a t-shirt?
Is Shelly Miscavige still missing? Yes. Does that concern me? Maybe not. Maybe? I don't entirely know.
A lot of people go missing. A lot of people die.
I think I would be able to assess a cost-benefit analysis between Illuminati, Scientology, and say, all right, what do I have to give up in order to have these things? And can I do more good by sacrificing my personal freedom? Maybe I would do it, especially if it came with a lot of fame and money. I think maybe it might be a fair exchange.
I do agree.
I also want to live to 1,000, and grassroots aren't going to get me there.
I literally Googled the other day, like, where are we at science-wise with...
I know.
And...
I know.
Like, why? That's why I'm like, can we put a pause on AI... And can we figure out how to
live forever and comfortably?
Right?
Like, I don't want to be 90 and like struggling.
Right?
I want to be 90 and doing podcasts and playing basketball.
I want to go on a walk fast. A brisk. I want to go on a brisk walk.
Fast. Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I my fear is we will be in the early stages of it.
Yeah.
And it won't be so great. It's not going to be as seamless as it will be maybe in like 50 years. But the truth is that people like you or I probably won't benefit from these wonderful things unless, of course, we link up with the Illuminati or Scientology.
A lot of these people, I feel like they're doing because the research that I pulled up is that people are doing like they're like taking blood from youths and like injecting it and all that stuff.
I mean, and they can make more blood. It's like the whole thing.
That's all that
youth are good at making more blood.
That's a good use for children. That's a better use than, I'm sorry, that's rude. But
damn, that
makes children seem invaluable. They are very cool.
I don't know that all children are valuable.
Yes.
Like, and I say all, not think of them as individuals, but we have too many children. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying we, I'm not advocating for what you are, which I think is to farm them, but I'm saying
to use them for their blood, which is all that they're good for, and live forever. Do I sound like a vampire right now?
Sound less like Jesus than you've ever sounded.
Jesus /
But there are a lot of kids. It may be too many kids.
I feel like this generation, though, we're not having kids.
No. Millennials, Gen Z.
We're done.
There are fewer children.
The future is gay. We're done. We're not doing it. Like, it's over. It's not happening.
Nobody can afford kids.
Oh my, I can barely afford myself.
Yeah.
It's insanity. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. Milk's $20,000. It's fine. I don't drink milk, actually, so I don't care about the price of milk.
Okay. Is that like a religious thing for Jesus?
Yeah. Jesus, he's on keto. So. Jesus is actually keto.
I have a kid. But I had my kid
the right way.
The right way. In high school.
Yes.
Early. Young.
Which I do think is the right way.
At the biological age for procreation. Mm-hmm. 16 years old, make a kid, and then die by the time you're 30 or whatever. Like that's the goal. Isn't that how humans are supposed to live?
For teen pregnancy right now?
I've been advocating for teen pregnancy.
Unfortunately, yes.
I've been advocating for it since I became a teen parent. I say this all the time because you can there's only two good ways to have a kid, and it's to have a kid really, really young, where you then have to struggle, right? Like it's hard. It's hard. Mm-hmm. It was hard to have a kid young. Mm-hmm. Well, for me, for his mom, for our families, for the people around us, it was tough. You have to forfeit a lot. You forfeit a lot of your 20s. You don't get to party and hang out and do the thing. And from day one, life is a grind.
Yeah.
But then you turn a corner when the kid gets a little bit older, and then you're in your early 30s, and the kid doesn't need you to feed it, or you know what I mean? Whatever. And it's kind of cool. And then you get to just kind of live almost little child free, Yeah. Vacation is easy, right? Going places is easy. There's no car seat. There's no diaper bag. Yeah. There's not Cheerios and, puffs all over your living room or whatever, right? There's no toys. You're not going to step on stuff. And that's the way to do it. The only other way to do it is to wait until you're 70 years old, and have the kid when you're really, really, really old, after you've lived all the fun time in your life and you had all those carefree times. Mm-hmm. Because when I look at my friends that are in their early mid 30s, or I have a friend that's 41 and just had baby twins. She's exhausted.
Yeah.
She is miserable. And I'm sure that one day she'll love those children, but it's going to take a long time to build up to a point where her just absolute exhaustion won't be standing between her and affection.
Yeah.
It's just...
Sorry, that's really good.
It's difficult.
Yeah. My family had me... My family... my parents had me super young, but at least...
And your parents, as we've discussed...
Let's do it.
...are hot.
Okay.
Your parents are hot. Okay? It's just the way it is.
And honestly...
Jocelyn's parents are hot.
Okay, and it's I'm going to send Grace pictures so that maybe we could put a picture up.
Yeah, and I need to see who these people are now.
Yeah.
The hot people?
But Dad said he's not coming on the show.
My dad does not want to come on the podcast, which I think is really unfortunate because I think that man is very funny. I think he would be very...
He's funny too?
He is funny. Oh, that's where I got it from. Okay.
This isn't.
What about Mom? Will she come?
Stepmom Would, potentially. I would hope so. She is fun. She is fun. Biological mom, she's in another state. And I don't know. I don't think she's
like geographically?
Geographically, mentally, spiritually, physically in another state. So there is no access there. But I will send you pictures and we'll put them up. And maybe if we get the the Instagram popping again, we can get live feedback on whether or not
This wasn't just something I came up with on my own. We were standing around after a show one time, and Joslyn, I think randomly, just popped up into the circle and went, "Hey, by the way, my parents are hot." And we went, "Nuh-uh, let's see." And then she showed us, and we're like, "Damn,
that's what I'm saying.
Your parents are hot."
It's a weird flex that I kind of feel. It makes me feel weird, but it's like at the same time, it's like
it bodes so well for your future. And I think that's where the flex for you comes from.
It's like, this is what I'm destined for.
It's like, by the way, get in while you can, ladies. You know, like, the future is me, okay?
I'm like, listen. Yeah, that was my whole, but I where I was going with that, though, was that they had me super young, but now they're like, my dad's like 40, 42, and then my
40 fine.
40, weird. And my stepmom is 35, and they look better than they did in their 20s. They look so good, and I think it's because they had the kids early.
Yeah.
And now it's like all the time and resources are just invested into looking good
And feeling good.
And
it's not always about like spending money to look good. It's about spending money on things that make you good on the inside, and then that just radiates.
Yes.
That's why if you have your kids really young, you have that opportunity to really glow up. You know, you have that opportunity.
Even though my dad was, he was convinced that I was not his. He was like, we're gonna have to rip a quick paternity test.
Did you?
They did, and I am his.
All right.
And when you see a side by side, you're like, all right.
You can see it.
You can see it for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, this is actually, it's not speaking of anything. I just saw it on the list and I wanted to bring it up.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of speaking of, my dad is in the military, right? And so I know he confirmed Area 51 was real for me. So I've known these things. But the general public is just finding out that aliens are real. Mm-hmm. What was the evidence brought to the table, though? I personally haven't seen any physical pictures.
There's a very. I'm interested in this, so I'm not just like, let me explain it. No. I'm interested, and I watched the trial, and the big thing is the middle of the day. I was very excited. There's a few things that have happened, right? Like the first one was they released reports that were basically like early on. They were like, there are UFOs basically, right? Mm-hmm. And there are basically these objects that have been flying, both recovered and not, that we just can't identify. That point, that's it. We don't know what they are. They didn't say they're alien spacecraft. They just said, we have no idea what they are. Period.
Have we thought about, it's not China? We know that?
They know that it's not. They don't know what it is, right? They know the things that it's not. And that leads them to go, so we have no idea what these things are, right? And then there was this guy who used to be on a major task force in, I believe, the Air Force, right? Mm-hmm. So he was in the know, and he said there are these objects, these crafts, right? We don't know what they are. They've crashed. We've recovered. We have them. We don't know what they are. He was like a whistleblower for aliens, right? Mm-hmm. And in the congressional hearing that they had about it, a person asked the dude, they're like, were there, she didn't know how to say it, but if you watch the video, you can tell she's like, I don't want to just blatantly say, you know, in the history of Congress, are there aliens? She's like, but were there biological organisms or something along those lines? Yeah. And he's like, we did recover biological tissue.
That's crazy.
Now, what we don't know is what that means, right? Like, we don't know if that's like a hand or a whole alien body or like a recovered alien Band-Aid, like a recovered alien Band-Aid, which is like a little bit of flesh on it. We don't know if it's like a little bit of a plant from another plant, you know what I mean? Like, or some sort of microbial thing. We don't know what all that means, but it's been this one dude basically is kind of the linchpin in the alien argument that said this. And then he alleges that there are people that are still working in this in the area where he worked that know about it, have covered it up, and are championing him, but feel like they can't speak up.
Wow. Men in Black. Men in Black.
Oh my God, it is the Men in Black.
Men in Black. I get it. I feel like aliens are picking a bad time to come out, though. I feel like...
Wow.
What?
It's just... We should be supportive.
No, we should be supportive because it's pretty brave of them, and...
Pretty brave.
What did I say? The future is gay. It is.
All the aliens are...
That would be so progressive. Yeah, I want an alien Barbie movie. Actually,
you know how it would almost be unremarkable if aliens were 100% genderless. It does feel like gender is like an entirely human it is an entirely human construct.
Yeah,
but that they just don't even have like a biological sex. They're just like sometimes
they're just vibing.
Sometimes they're just vibing.
They're just
living, flying.
I would. Honestly,
you know how aliens are probably gay?
How?
And if not gay, you know how aliens are probably all queer?
Yes.
Because they're like adventuring. Like they're out here with a backpack. They got a little alien Patagonia.
They're kayaking.
They live out of an alien van. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. They're just van life aliens that crashed somewhere they weren't supposed to go. They went off the beaten path.
Whoops.
Here they are.
Welcome.
Crunchy. Just
Granola
being here.
aliens.
Granola aliens.
All vegan.
All vegan aliens.
I'm okay with that. I can get along with a vegan alien. It's fine. That's actually the name of the episode. It's Vegan Aliens. We're pushing an agenda. Okay, I saw this before I walked in. I don't know if you've seen... Did you see what happened on the riverboat in Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I lived in Alabama for 5 years. That is the most Alabama. Like, just riverboat, just mob fighting with a chair. But it made me think, which tremendous weapon. If you look at the video, he really clocked her good.
Used it well.
Like,
although I will say it was satisfying to watch,
yes,
but maybe not the most aggressive way he could have used the chair.
He could have went to...
If he hit it, sliced it, like on the side with the bar, in some ways, I know he's going to jail. But I do think if I'm his attorney, I make a case that it could have been worse. That's the case I make.
And I love
it could have been worse.
The woman, he was like, I'm not gonna put my hands on her, but he just
you're gonna get this chair.
And this question has been asked before, but I like this question. Have you ever been in a fight? I want to know who, how. Mm-hmm. I describe the physical altercation if there was one.
Yeah, I've been in. I feel like when I was a kid, I got into a lot of fights, like middle school, high school.
But no adult fights?
I don't think I've been in an adult fight I don't know if I've been in an adult fight in my entire life. I've been in adult altercations where it has been like a very much like push, we're not doing this, I'm very de-escalating.
Okay.
Right? But I don't think I've ever been in an adult fight. I don't think I've been in a fight since like early high school. Middle school stuff.
If you want to, I think that you should shout out your next live date so that people can come to your shows.
They could come.
And to maybe
I've been building up.
Fight.
I have no desire to get in a fight, but I feel like if I did get in another fight, I would have to just be willing. I'd have to throw it all away. I'd have to be done. I don't think I could live with myself if I was like, yeah, you know how I resolved that altercation? With my fists! I just don't think I'm that dude. I'm not that guy. I'm probably just going to talk way too much. My problem is I don't get into fights because I really like to confuse the whatever man, it's always a man, whoever man is trying to get at me. And it's usually in a way that is way more insulting than they're able to comprehend.
You want to throw them off logically.
And then I watch the steam come out of their ears, and then they just want to fight so bad, but they also like can't keep up.
Yeah.
And so my whole goal is I'm going to frustrate you and remind you that this is not the place you want to be right now. And then eventually they'll leave that target or whatever, and we got to get out of the situation.
They should really hire you at like Guantanamo. That sounds like you have like, I'm like, I would rather, the thing is I fantasize about,
about fighting?
Like,
that's the least Jesus thing about you. You're just becoming progressively less Jesus.
Because sometimes I'm like, God, it just feels so good to just swing once. It's because I probably should get into like boxing or I should do something to just let it out. But like sometimes I do, like if I'm taking a shower, I just get caught up in like, you ever in a shower like
fight?
Fake, not like
physically fight the water? Just punching droplets.
No, but you're like fantasizing about like maybe like
doing well on a show. We have different demons. If I'm in the shower fighting anything, it's usually like a new impression. My showers sound insane. That's why I work out most of my voices. It's just me going, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm Jason Statham. I shave my head, wash my armpits. There we go. Like, that's what I'm doing.
That sounds like a way more productive shower mentally. I think that.
But you are just going through it.
I'm not like talking out loud, but maybe I'll stand there and I'll just think about like an altercation that I had and what I should have said to make it better. And then it's 30 minutes have passed.
Okay. Like a fake argument.
Yeah.
Like a fake argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get into fake arguments. I'm not like I'm driving,
dropping elbows in the shower or anything like that.
It's just you with like a shampoo bottle, just squeezing that last bit of conditioner out like you really need it.
The truth is that I do.
I think I was like an angry young man. Like I was an angry young man, and as I age, the more and more I really want to let go of all those things.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't ever want to be somebody who's like, I'm going to resolve this with fists. I think when we look at like the world anymore, like when we think about like war and stuff, it's like, are we fighting? You're fighting? You're going to fight about it? You're going to fight about it?
Mm-hmm. It's embarrassing.
How about we sit down and talk?
Yeah. Let's have coffee.
Yeah.
And cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like men.
Putin. Ew, you're just gonna take it? Ugh.
Embarrassing.
Okay. Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
Child's play.
Ridiculous.
We are winding down though, coming to a close. Me and Grace are working on getting the Instagram rebooted, so it will be up, and hopefully people listening will be able to interact with it again, because usually we like to ask questions from people who listen, and they're super fun, and a lot of times inappropriate and awkward, but that's okay.
I have a question for listeners.
Sure.
Do you think aliens fight? Or do you think they would find it embarrassing?
I feel like maybe they don't fight, but they are giving dirty looks. I feel like they love a dirty look.
Yeah. I can see that. They look at us and they go, oh my God, like they live
judging.
like this?
Yeah. They're judging like a fitting room attendant at a JCPenney's. They're judging. They're judging.
Yeah.
But no, this is a good time. If you have any upcoming things you want to promote, like your TikTok, your Instagram shows, anything like that, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I would say just check out my social media stuff.
It's like,
and this could be my insecurity showing, but I would say go to my social media and look at anything that isn't impressions. Because I'm proud of my non-impression work.
Yes.
The sketches.
Sketches are good.
The bits. I'm proud of those things.
Yes.
But I know that people just like I know what people want. I know what they want out of me. But
you know your audience.
They should look at the other stuff.
Everything is great. And his comedy is great as well. Do you have anything upcoming that people can, at least in the Omaha area, can attend?
Yeah. And you can find all those things on my social media.
Yes.
Where I promote sometimes.
Yeah, follow him on TikTok.
Yeah.
Let's get him to 2 mil.
Yeah, let's do 2 milli.
2 milli vanillis.
2 million. I want to keep growing until I get that invite to the Illuminati.
That's when we know you'll have made it. Please, slide my name. I would love to be name dropped.
First thing I'll do is report back and on the pod, and then I'll tell them,
2.
guess what? I happen to know the second coming of Jesus. So
she's right here.
Yeah.
Grace also wants to be invited in the Illuminati.
She can come.
We haven't
They've
talked
got
about
great
it, but I just
dentists.
Is it free?
She said, does insurance cover it?
Yeah, all expenses covered. Yeah. You have to give away your soul, but yeah.
What's a
free
soul
dental
nowadays? Care. That's a good deal. All right, I don't know how to end it, but yeah, that feels good. Thank you, Cameron, for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. This is fun.